Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's a nice, comfortable start out there this morning. We're going to see another day like yesterday, but looking ahead to tomorrow, we get back into a stormier pattern. I'll show you what to expect.
Biden's diagnosis. The former president is facing an aggressive form of prostate cancer. What doctors are saying about his prognosis as he faces the disease.
And building the budget today, we may learn more about how lawmakers plan to spend billions in taxpayer money, what it could mean for teachers and state employees. Bring you inside of WRAL studio here on our Monday morning after a great weekend. I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you with us.
And I'm Renee Chu. It does feel pleasant out there. A nice way to start our Monday morning. Let's get started with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner and what we can expect today.
It's going to be a nice day today. We take a live look at downtown Raleigh. Of course, this is the legislative building. Our temperature is comfortable, and so is the dew point. The dew point's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. Lets us know how muggy or not muggy it's going to feel. And right now, it feels really nice out there with a temperature in the mid-60s. We take a look at temperatures across the region. Some 50s up near the Virginia line, mid-60s in Fayetteville and Clinton, low 60s for Rocky Mount and Goldsboro. 24-hour temperature change. We're running anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday. But the afternoon will be much like yesterday. Humidity remains low, and we'll see temperatures in the mid-80s. So get outside and enjoy today. The changes begin tomorrow. Our next weather maker comes in tomorrow night and Wednesday. That's going to bring us a chance of showers and storms. We already have the potential for some severe weather. But I tell you what, looking ahead at the holiday weekend looks pretty good. We'll check it out coming up.
Looking forward to that. Elizabeth, thank you. Breaking news just after 2 this morning. A crash in Aberdeen left a driver in critical condition. Police say the driver crashed a pickup truck into the Ross Dress for Less store on US 15501. Video and photos from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker show the structural damage to the building. We're working to learn what caused the crash.
And we have breaking news we're following. Also just after 2 this morning, Raleigh police responded to an RV crash on Six Forks Road. This happened near Millbrook Road. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows that debris scattered in the street. Officers say no one was hurt in the crash. Duke Energy crews responded to fix a utility pole, though, that was damaged in the area.
This morning, former President Joe Biden is at home in Wilmington, Delaware, after his diagnosis of an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Doctors say that cancer has spread into his bones. WRAL's Laura Levine is live outside the Raleigh Marriott Crabtree Valley this morning. And Laura, former Vice President Mike Pence will be there today. He is one of many expressing best wishes to Biden.
Renee, good morning. We are hearing from so many people last night and this morning reacting to the news of Biden's cancer diagnosis here at the Marriott in Raleigh. This is where the former Vice President Mike Pence will be having a roundtable discussion, but we're also hearing from him as well. Now, Pence shared this statement on X late last night saying, "Karen and I are praying for former President Joe Biden following his cancer diagnosis and urge our fellow Americans to join us. We send our heartfelt wishes to Jill and their family for a successful treatment and recovery." So the finding came after Biden reported urinary symptoms, which led to doctors discovering a nodule on his prostate. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer on Friday, with the cancer cells having spread to the bone. Prostate cancers are graded for aggressiveness using what's known as a Gleason score, and Biden's office said his score was a 9.
9 is really on the high end. It's the very high end of that scale. So it's aggressive cancer under the microscope, and through imaging, it's spread already out of the prostate to distant sites.
So today we will continue to follow the reaction from local political leaders as well, chiming in on this latest diagnosis. Meanwhile, here at the Marriott, the former vice president will be here beginning at 10 a.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And while he's in Raleigh, the former vice president will be headlining a business roundtable on tariffs, tax reform, and economics. And as Laura said, the roundtable starts at 10 over at the Raleigh Marriott Crabtree Valley.
Today, we may learn about state lawmakers' budget plans. The House GOP could release its proposal for how to spend billions of dollars. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is outside the legislative building for us this morning, and we'll hear, Kelsey, from Governor Josh Stein today about money for Helene relief as well.
Yes, Jeff, we'll hear about that too. And House leaders are expected to make that announcement about their budget as early as today. We've been following the conversations happening here inside the legislative building. Today, we could get a big picture view of the split between the House and the Senate. We'll have a better idea of where the House stands on taxes and raises for teachers and state employees. Lawmakers are trying to figure out a way to fund this growing state while still making good on promises to lower taxes, all in the face of federal funding cuts. We'll also hear from Governor Josh Stein today. He will announce his second Hurricane Helene budget proposal. Governor Stein's announcement is scheduled for this morning at 11. We're still waiting to hear when the House will make an announcement about their budget proposal, but it could come at some point this evening. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Happening today, President Trump says he will speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin about ending the war in Ukraine. This comes after representatives from Ukraine and Russia held face-to-face talks in Turkey on Friday. It was the first time the two countries held direct talks at any level in 3 years. Trump also plans to speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and various NATO countries following his talk with Putin. Zelensky, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio met in Rome. Yesterday's meeting was their first meeting since that blow-up in February when talking about the war in Ukraine. Zelensky says it was a good meeting and Ukraine is ready to engage in diplomacy, calling for a ceasefire as soon as possible.
Israel says it will allow a basic amount of food into Gaza as it moves forward with a major offensive called Gideon's Chariots. Officials say the limited aid is meant to prevent a hunger crisis, which they warn could disrupt military operations there. Israel also says it's taking giant steps to keep that aid out of Hamas's hands.
Back here at home, Raleigh police are looking for a driver who injured 5 people in a hit-and-run crash. This happened on New Hope Road last night. Police say 2 adults and a child who were in a yard and 2 adults who were in the car were all hurt. The driver left the scene. Investigators say no one is in custody. No charges have been filed at this time. The FBI says the bombing outside a Palm Springs fertility clinic was an act of terrorism. 4 people were injured in the explosion Saturday. Authorities say the suspect, 25-year-old Guy Edward Bartkus, was killed in the blast. Officials say he was driven by an anti-pro-life ideology, a belief that no one should have children. The FBI says it appears he tried to live stream the blast.
Covering Cumberland County, the Board of Commissioners will hold a special meeting today to talk about emergency shelter for people without housing. It starts at 4 this afternoon at the Cumberland County Courthouse. The meeting is open to the public and it'll be streamed live on the county's website.
President Trump is telling Walmart to absorb the higher costs prompted by tariffs. Trump blasted Walmart after the company warned about price hikes due to tariffs. Trump wrote on his Truth Social platform that Walmart should eat the tariffs instead of passing on the cost to customers. Walmart told investors that it will try to absorb some costs. In a response to the president's post, Walmart says, quote, "We have always worked to keep our prices as low as possible, and we won't stop."
In Orange County, a coalition is sounding the alarm over what they call serious injustices in this year's property tax revaluation. They say it's pushing up taxes for longtime residents in historically black neighborhoods while cutting brakes for wealthy communities and out-of-state investors. A news conference is at noon today.
The schedule for the NHL's Eastern Conference Final is out, and Game 1 will be tomorrow night at Lenovo Center. The Florida Panthers will play the Canes. They beat the Toronto Maple Leafs last night in Game 7 of their series. So here's what that schedule looks like. Puck drop for Game 1, 8 p.m. tomorrow at Lenovo Center. Game 2 will be Thursday night at 8, also at Lenovo Center. Games 3 and 4 will be Saturday and next Monday in Florida. And if the series goes longer than that, the Canes would host Games 5 and, if necessary, Game 7. After every game, WRAL has exclusive analysis and expert insight. Don't miss our Canes exclusive postgame live. Our team will break down Game 1 tomorrow night at 11:25 right here on WRAL.
20 minutes before 5 right now on your Monday. A coyote attack. How a Roxborough man says he was able to fight off an animal after it pounced on him during his evening walk.
Tornado devastation, the additional threat people in the central U.S. are facing after powerful weekend storms left destruction in their path.
Well, it should be calm today, and as you take a live look at Goldsboro, certainly starting off that way, pleasant. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner back after the break with when storm chances will rise again and when temperatures will plummet.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:43, taking a live look at Zebulon this morning. It's a nice quiet morning. It feels very comfortable outside. Our humidity has dropped nicely. You probably noticed the difference yesterday. Our skies are clear, so we have the top of the tower lit in blue. So a nice morning as you're heading out the door. We check out some of the temperatures. We're in the 50s and 60s, 52 in Roxborough, but 62 in Rocky Mount, 64 in Durham, 66 in Fayetteville, 64 degrees in Garner. Dog walking forecast, again, very comfortable for us. Our temperature at lunchtime is likely to be at 79. We will climb into the mid-80s for this afternoon. That's still above normal. Coming up next is the potential for showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday night and Wednesday, and I'll walk you through the timeline coming up.
People in Roanoke Rapids have their electricity back on after powerful storms knocked it out for thousands. More than 19,000 customers across northeastern North Carolina lost power at the height of storms on Friday. Dominion Energy tells us the storms battered the utilities infrastructure in Roanoke Rapids.
There were wind gusts near 65 miles per hour, as well as rain, and it had been raining a few days prior, so the ground was extremely wet. And you couple that with a few lightning strikes, you have a recipe for disaster.
The storms broke about 40 utility poles there, and around 240 Dominion Energy crews and bucket trucks helped restore power.
A family is recovering after a crash on I-95 in Nash County. It happened early yesterday morning near the Highway 4 exit in Rocky Mount. All southbound lanes of I-95 were closed for more than 6 hours. State Highway Patrol says a tractor trailer rear-ended another truck, and the tractor trailer jackknifed and the cab separated from the trailer. Driver's name is Marlon Patterson. He was charged with failure to reduce speed, driving with a revoked license, and no seatbelt. Patterson and his wife and their 3-year-old were taken to the hospital as a precaution.
A relaxing evening walk turned into a fight for his life when a Roxborough man was attacked by a coyote. James Pullum tells us he was walking in his neighborhood Friday night when the coyote attacked him. He tried to get away, but the animal kept pursuing him. And then he fell down and the animal jumped on him, biting his arm. That's when Pullum says he was forced to take action.
Then I just grabbed him by the throat and we rolled. I rolled on top of him and put my knee in his throat, and I ain't let go.
Pullum says he strangled the coyote with his hands and knees. He will need a rabies shot every 3 days until testing is done to determine if the coyote was infected.
Parts of the central U.S. are recovering from a destructive storm that created dozens of tornadoes and killed 28 people. This is video from London, Kentucky. That was one of the hardest hit communities. Garrett Tenney has this report.
A devastating scene left behind in the wake of tornadoes which ripped through parts of the Midwest. The fierce storm system on Friday killed at least 24 people. Most of those deaths took place in Kentucky. State officials there warn of a possible rise in the death toll.
Yeah, it's a sad day. Just the fact that anyone survives is a miracle of God.
In London, Kentucky, some residents are now homeless after a tornado turned hundreds of homes inside out in tossed vehicles. Forecasters recorded an initial count of 26 tornadoes that touched down in the central region.
You could literally hear just things ripping in the distance. You could hear glass shattering everywhere, just roaring like a freight train. It was terrible.
Thousands of buildings are now heavily damaged in Missouri. St. Louis's mayor described it as one of the worst storms in the city's history.
We're working on getting everybody organized so we can better organize the distribution of resources.
Resources are pouring in. Federal aid for Kentucky has been granted just days ago after the state suffered from a separate devastating storm in February.
Well, yesterday was a day of just letting everybody kind of gather themselves, and today is a day of kind of picking things up and trying to move on.
That was Garrett Tenney reporting. Today, help from a North Carolina-based Christian relief organization is expected to arrive in Kentucky and in Missouri. Samaritan's Purse has mobilized 2 disaster relief units to help people there. Volunteer teams will begin their work today.
It is the season of severe weather, and certainly last week we saw our share of that. We get a break today, and then, Elizabeth, more rain returns for tomorrow.
It does, yeah. Looking at Tuesday night into Wednesday is our next best chance for showers and storms. And you can see back to the west, we do have some clusters of thunderstorms rolled through Memphis and then down across parts of Alabama this morning. Nothing terribly close to us, but this is the system that'll roll through and bring us a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms by the middle of the week. We are actually, for the most part, on the north side of this front, and that keeps things a little bit cooler. You know, I mean, it is the middle of May, so cooler is relative, right? Tuesday night into Wednesday is when we'll end up with a chance for some severe storms. And both days we have a level 1 risk for severe storms. I'll let you know if it looks like those days would be a WRAL weather alert day. Taking a look at Tuesday, this version of Futurecast doesn't show a whole lot of rain for us. This is lunchtime. You can see some cloud cover, a little bit of sunshine right there around 5 o'clock, and then the potential for some maybe evening toward overnight cells, one near Southern Pines, one near Durham. And then it looks like Wednesday brings us a better chance. You can see some rain rolling in during the morning hours on Wednesday, and then later in the afternoon. Watch as we get closer to 2 o'clock. That's when we see a better chance for some more widespread showers and thunderstorms. So Wednesday may be the more active day for us. And taking a look at downtown Raleigh right now, skies are clear, feels comfortable, mid-60s. Our temperature and our dew point, a very comfortable 53. That's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere, and it feels really nice. It's 64 in Apex and Garner, 60 in Cary, 59 in Wake Forest and in Durham. A really cool photo that was sent in by Sandy in Zebulon. This is what's called gravity waves. We had so many really interesting clouds last week with our potential for severe storms coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Chris Michaels is going to talk more about the severe weather and those cool clouds that came along with it. Go to WRAL.com/report it. Send us your photos. We'll be in the mid-80s to around 90 this afternoon. And while that is hot, our muggy meter right now is sitting at comfy. And so it just makes it feel a little bit better. We do have temperatures that are a little above normal here showing up in yellow, but watch what happens as we get into the weekend. Once we get past that front, the blue shaded colors jump in, and that means some much cooler temperatures. Look at this, behind that front Wednesday, highs are in the 70s, and it looks like it'll stay that way into the weekend. It looks fairly dry, but not totally. And we'll take a look at our rain chances coming up.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A great need. Coming up, thousands of children in North Carolina's foster care system are looking for stable homes. The call advocates are making for you to lend a helping hand.
Overcharged at checkout. In the next hour, 5 on your side breaks down what you need to know to avoid pricing mix-ups that could cost you money.
Supporting men's health was the focus of a march in downtown Apex. Mayor Jock Gilbert led that march. March 1000 is what it's called. It started at the Apex Town Hall courtyard. The event was to uplift men's mental health, break the stigma of mental illness, and bring 1,000 men together in solidarity.
Final Destination Bloodlines was the top movie at the box office over the weekend. The horror franchise's 5th film in 14 years brought in $51 million, and that is the best opening in the history of this series. Thunderbolts, also known as the New Avengers, lost the top spot. It brought in a little over $16 million. And Sinners fell to 3rd place. It made just over $15 million at the weekend box office. One movie that did not do well at the box office over the weekend was one starring the artist known as The Weeknd. David Daniel has details in the Hollywood Minute.
A bad weekend for The Weeknd. Hurry Up Tomorrow, the music star's movie debut, under his given name, Abel Tesfaye, opened weekly in theaters, missing the top 5 with a mere $3.3 million in estimated ticket sales. And the film's freshness rating on RottenTomatoes.com is a dismal 13%. A Gears of War movie is on the way. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the Fall Guy director David Leitch is in talks to helm Netflix's adaptation of the Smash Xbox video game. Leitch would also produce the film.
Oh my God, what am I doing?
What you should be doing. You've got a beautiful daughter.
Mommy, stay here with me.
What more can you want?
Anna Campbell stars in Nora as a woman torn between the music career she left behind and being a solo parent for her 6-year-old daughter. Campbell also wrote and directed the film, which is set to stream on the Veeps platform Saturday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Scotty Scheffler had a big day in Charlotte. He won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. He entered the day with a 3-stroke lead and ended up winning by 5. It is his first time winning the PGA Championship to go along with his 2 Masters titles. It is now his 3rd major tournament win.
Building the budget. Today, we may learn more about how lawmakers plan to spend billions in taxpayer money. Plus, Governor Josh Stein's newest plan for Helene recovery.
This Brooklyn Bridge crash. We are learning new information about the boat that hit the bridge, killing 2 people and leaving others hurt. What authorities say led to the crash.
And Biden's diagnosis, what doctors are saying about the former president's prognosis as he faces an aggressive form of prostate cancer.